talk about the money that's coming into the city of York and some of the ideas, plans, and uses in the future.
Yeah, over the next 2 years, we're expecting now about 35 million. We were first told about 37.7, but those numbers have gone down. So we'll see what happens there. But we're talking about $35 million over the next 2 years to help supplement the city's losses due to COVID, but then also to inject money, particularly into job training programs and to help lift people in our underserved communities.
What you said you thought about a third of that was going to go towards COVID reimbursement. What kind of expenses has the city incurred over the last 15 years?
Well, it's not the fact. Actually, we've already been reimbursed for our expenses with improved healthcare service delivery. You know, we have one of the few bureaus of health in the state, and so those costs were already reimbursed. I'm talking about the loss of revenue because the businesses were closed, so we didn't get the mercantile taxes in from those businesses. Talking about other types of taxes, parking. We didn't have parking. We had all free parking for months, and so we didn't get that money in. So those expenses are the first things that need to get trued up. Those losses of revenues need to get trued up before we start spending the money on the people, which is what we really want to do.
Talk about some of the ideas that you have for improving the lives of the citizens.
Yeah, what I want to do, and of course every penny that comes through has to be approved by council, but things that we want to do is reinstitute the job training program. It used to be called JTPA back in the day, back in the 70s and 80s. But have a job training program where young people are paid to work for 3 days a week, and then have additional training such as GED or earning welding certifications or things like that. Make sure that it's not just a paycheck, but it is a real career promotion. So that's one thing. Setting up the police cadet program so that young people from the city of York who want to become police officers will actually get paid from the time they graduate. They graduate about 18. You can't become a police officer until you're 21. So there's that gap period. So what we want to do is bring them in. There'll be community liaisons, and they'll be interns to the police department. So we'll be hiring people from York City that frankly look like more of the people from York City and know York City. So we're really excited about that program. Commissioner Muldrow doing a great job as our commissioner. We're also going to expand the group violence intervention initiative. We've seen across the country violence is really spiking in cities during COVID. People are in tougher positions and making bad decisions, or the decisions they feel they have to make in some cases. But we've got to really crack down on the violence. So we're going to do the job training and try to uplift people economically, but also deploy more resources towards stopping this violence.
How do you view this money? I mean, it's a good chunk of change when you look at it, obviously. How influential can this be towards the benefit of the city?
Well, these could be the biggest changes we've seen in over 50 years from the federal government. So cities across America are underfunded for the types of concerns that we're facing. You know, poverty is concentrated here. The nonprofit sector is concentrated here and don't pay taxes to the city to fund the costs of the city. Poverty means more violence, which means we have to have larger, more expensive police departments than our suburban and rural neighbors. So this is a great opportunity to invest in our cities and turn the corner on some of these severe generational problems such as poverty and violence.
There are obviously restrictions with the money, what can and can't be done. Are there some infrastructure is one of them that, or at least roads type of thing, that can't be used? Or is there any kind of big ticket items that wouldn't be possible without the use of this money that you guys are kind of ironing out?
Well, our focus is really on people. So programs for children, programs for retraining for jobs, for both the young people and those that might be more seasoned but need new jobs because of the changing economy. So our focus right now is really on the human infrastructure and less on the concrete of the city. We're told by our congressional representatives that it is likely that a transportation bill will be coming out that will help provide more funding for those items.
Wastewater treatment facility, the purchases going through, that's $20 million up front, right?
Yes.
And then
we've already received the $20 million up front. We're trying not to spend it because when somebody loans you money based on a deal that hasn't gone through yet, if you spend that money and the deal doesn't go through, then you're out that money. So while it is a good nest egg to have in case of an emergency, we really want the full deal to go through, and then we'll have that money on day one instead of having to wait for any kind of banking transactions or anything like that.
What kind of time frame is that for the finality of that?
It's really up to the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission as to the time frame. We're hoping for 6 to 12 months.
Oh, that far along. Okay. And then the remaining 200, is that over a period of time? Isn't that what the final was?
Yeah, no, I think we get the rest of that at closing.
It is. Okay,
Yeah,
second purchase of a house.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. What go through some of the plans for the use of that money and kind of how that'll be?
Well, we are bringing together. First of all, we have contracted with the Pennsylvania Economy League to make sure that all the money necessary to shore up our pension funds is put aside. That's something like $90 million of it right there. Then to pay off or put aside all the money to pay off every debt that the city has. That's 40 to 50, 60 million, something like that. So the money goes really quickly. And then we want to put some in trust to make sure that it pays off perpetually, that the city can actually make money off of this money. Generally, with money that comes into the city like grants or money up front, you can't invest that money. So you can never make money off that money. This is the first time in decades, probably 30 years, that the city has ever had any money that we could actually invest and make more money off of it. So we're not going to be going wild with the spending. I did already commit $1 million to helping minority businesses grow in the city of York. Again, a lot of the issues that we are facing in the city have to do with the economic disparities, particularly in our minority community. So we're really, really focused on that right now.
What measures are in place to make sure that this money is being used properly and wisely?
We're going to be bringing in outside. So we've got Pennsylvania Economy League. We're going to be bringing together committees to look at the decisions of how the money is spent. And then we're going to be bringing in an independent auditor to make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
There are people out there that have said that with the rescue plan money coming and possibly another infrastructure money coming, the sale of the wastewater treatment facility might not have been something that needed to happen. Why is that not? Why did you guys?
That would be ridiculous. All you got to do is look at our books. We owe $90 million in pensions. None of this money coming in can be used on pensions. So I can end my comment there, or I could continue. It doesn't pay off the debts. None of the money that's coming from the federal government, all that money needs to be spent immediately. It has nothing to do with any of the long-term fiscal stability of the city of York.
What opportunities are there, both now and for the future, to really make a difference with this influx of money?
Well, besides the many programs that I already discussed with job training and building up small businesses in the city, we're also looking at an innovation and inclusion district for the Northwest Triangle, where this will not only be a place for technology, but it will be a place to fight the disparities within the technology industry, which is a mostly white industry. So if we can combine our work and our efforts, and we're working with Rodney Sampson from Opportunity Hub He's a great entrepreneur who has been developing investment platforms and supporting minority businesses across the country. We're working with him. I actually am in a jobs forum with him tonight at I believe it's 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Check our website for the announcement or our Facebook. But we're going to be working with him to try and not only bring the fourth industrial revolution technology to York and expand on that, but to make sure that it is inclusive of all of the diverse cultures within the city of York.
Looking around here, I mean, this is vibrant. The market's vibrant. It's the busiest I've seen it in a long time. What does this show about the city of York? I mean, as just a microcosm of what's happening.
Well, we're all ready to get back to normal, or whatever the closest thing to normal can be. So I think people are really out, and it's springtime, and after being bottled up for a long time, people want to come out and experience and support the amazing shops, the amazing restaurants, the entertainment, and all that York City has to offer.
Anything else I didn't ask you think it's good enough? Okay, how about, I mean, primary day is on Tuesday. I guess you decided obviously to run again, so why take on the torture?
Well, the main reason that I ran again was to make sure that this wastewater treatment plant deal goes through properly, because without it, the city is dead. Harrisburg refuses to change the taxation system, the archaic taxation system developed when our cities were the center of commerce and the center of wealth. That's no longer the case in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, certainly not in third-class cities. And so, unfortunately, the sale of the wastewater treatment plant was the best of multiple bad options. And so I wanted to make sure that it goes through so we can stabilize the city for at least the next 10, 15, 20 years or more.
Last thing I think of is there's been rumblings that I've heard about the possibility of using some of the money, whether it be the ARP money for like a tax rate for citizens. Is that a possibility, or is it something that you're looking at?
I am very interested in using some of the wastewater treatment plant money I'm very interested in using some of the wastewater treatment plant sale money to provide tax relief for the people of the city of York. The money coming in from the federal government specifically says that you can't have tax relief at the time that they're using that money. But that doesn't contemplate the fact that we're getting this other income from the sale of the wastewater treatment plant. So we're going to have to kind of navigate this, but we do hope to be able at some point in the near future to provide property tax relief for the residents and businesses of the city of York.